If you've ever found yourself sitting in the dark at 11 p.m., reading glasses pushed up on your forehead, panic Googling your retirement standing, only to slam your laptop shut because some article told you you're absolutely doomed without $3 million in the bank, just take a breath. You are exactly who this explainer is for. Today, we're dismantling the retirement fear machine. We're going to look past all that terrifying clickbait and rely strictly on the actual data to show you why you might genuinely be doing significantly better than you think. So let's dive right into it. 28%. According to the Federal Reserve's 2022 survey of consumer finances, 28% of Americans have exactly $0 saved for retirement. Nothing. Literally just a savings account with the rubber band around it. So listen, if you have any retirement account at all, you've already cleared a massive hurdle.
Now, what's really fascinating here is the sheer gap between perception and reality. Financial media absolutely loves to scream that the magic number to retire comfortably is $1.4 million. But let's look at the boring reality. The actual median retirement savings for Americans between the ages of 65 and 74 is right around $200,000. That is the dead center of the pack. Half the people in that exact age group have less than that.
Part 1, the math. Let's look at the actual data. Think about your age right now. If you're between 35 and 44, the median is $45,000. For the 45 to 54 group, it's $115,000. And if you're 55 to 64, it's $185,000. If your current savings are sitting anywhere above your age bracket's number, you are statistically ahead of half your peers. You're not just, guessing that you're doing okay. You have the actual data proving you are beating the median. And this is exactly why that $1.4 million fantasy is so misleading. When a headline sets a $1 million+ minimum, they're drawing a finish line that roughly 97% of retirees never cross. Just 3% hit that millionaire mark. The other 97% of retirees, well, they're out there right now, living their lives, mowing their lawns, arguing about the thermostat, and doing honestly okay. Part 2, the mechanics. Let's talk about everyday financial habits. There are a few practical mechanical indicators of true financial health. First off, you aren't bleeding money to high-interest credit card debt, which quietly just cancels out any savings progress you make. Second, you have an actual cash emergency fund that's separate from your retirement money, meaning you won't have to raid your future to cover today's problems. Third, you make consistent contributions. And fourth, you actually know what you're invested in, even if it's just basic index funds or target date funds. Hitting these marks puts you miles ahead of the average person. The absolutely crucial takeaway here: consistency compounds. Motivation doesn't. A boring, steady $50 a month automatically invested easily beats a dramatic $5,000 deposit that you make once in a sudden burst of motivation and then completely forget about. It's the quiet, mechanical consistency that actually wins the long game. Part 3, the mindset. Time for some emotional health checks. I want to break the fourth wall for a second and just ask you this directly. Quick gut check, without looking. What is the exact balance of your retirement account to the penny? If you just rattled off a number down to the exact cent in your head, I want you to sit with that. Knowing your balance that intimately usually isn't a sign of being totally on top of things. It's actually a sign your nervous system is chained to that number, refreshing the app like a slot machine. You know what? Fuzziness is actually a flex. The people who are truly doing well are usually a little fuzzy on their exact balance. They check their accounts periodically like a functioning adult, sure, but their pulse doesn't change when they do. It means a Tuesday dip in the market doesn't reach up and ruin their entire week. That calm peace of mind is something a lot of actual millionaires never achieve. Let's look at how this mindset handles real life. Say the dog eats something a dog definitely shouldn't, and you get hit with a sudden $2,000 vet bill. For the average budget, this is a terrifying crisis that requires a new credit card and a lot of lost sleep. But if you're doing well, it's merely annoying. It's a bad word muttered in the driveway, it's paid out of boring liquid cash, and you move on. That gap between terrifying and annoying, that's the truest test of financial health. Now, let's talk about income expectations, $24,000. To put that into perspective, that is roughly the average yearly Social Security check projected for 2026. For a huge share of American retirees, that $24,000 isn't just a piece of their income, it is the entire meal. But for you, the check should be the cherry, not the sundae. The recent 2.8% cost of living adjustment sounds nice on paper, but it's really just a magic trick when things like Medicare premiums and groceries have gone up by even more. The people who are really winning aren't the ones getting the biggest check. They're the ones who would be totally fine if the check were a little smaller because they've built a solid foundation of other savings underneath it. If things are going right, a switch eventually flips and you just stop racing the neighbors. You always have to remember, you're comparing your real, boring, solvent life to somebody else's highlight reel. That giant new truck next door, or that lavish Facebook villa vacation. For a lot of people, those are being funded by a home equity loan and a prayer. When you no longer feel the pull to keep up, you've reached a profound level of financial freedom. Part 4, your hidden assets. We're looking beyond the bank statements now. You can learn everything about someone's real retirement standing by watching what they do with a doctor's recommendation. If you're doing better than most, you spend money on your health without flinching. You don't fumble on the 1-yard line by skipping a $40 physical therapy copay or refusing to buy a good mattress just to save a few bucks. Let this thought really sink in. The most expensive thing you'll ever own is a body you stopped maintaining. I mean, the entire point of saving money for decades was to be alive and comfortable enough to actually enjoy it. A massive, perfectly balanced portfolio is utterly useless if you are physically too worn down to use it. Your health is the one account you simply cannot rebuild once it's completely depleted. Wandering around your house feeling bored on a Tuesday might sound like a complaint, but secretly, it's a brag. That empty space is the very product you've been saving for. Being bored on a Tuesday is an incredible luxury when you compare it to the terrified 73-year-old who is forced to work a part-time job, not to socialize, but simply to make the numbers work at the end of the month. And here is a hidden asset that outranks almost all the others: loneliness prevention. When the work stops, the built-in social life usually stops right along with it. Having a standing coffee group, a weekly card game, or just a list of people you'd actually call when things happen protects you from the physical and emotional damage of post-career isolation. That strong social web is easily worth another $100,000 in your portfolio. And trust me, you cannot dollar-cost average your way into it. Finally, you are a full lap ahead if you've started solving the next problem: downstream planning. Thinking about the money you will never spend shows you are incredibly secure in your own footing. Writing a simple will, correctly filling in your beneficiaries, and actually having that tough but necessary conversation with your kids means you are protecting your family from a massive mess later on. So, the ultimate takeaway here is this: the bar in this country is on the floor, and there's a very good chance you're already stepping right over it. Even if the statistical average is dangerously low, hitting just a few of the signs we've covered today means you're not nearly as far behind as those terrifying 11 p.m. media headlines want you to believe. I want to leave you with this final vital thought. The internet's terrifying multi-million-dollar finish line was never real to begin with. The real finish line is much closer. It's built on steady habits, calm mindsets, and boring, solvent living. So, what is the smallest step you can take this week to build your actual path? Whether it's saving an extra $50, texting a friend, or booking that physical therapy appointment. Take that step and step into true financial peace. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer.